Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. The day after the 1.53 something billion dollar Powerball drawing. Now, I want to ask you something. Let's take advantage of this moment for something other than the fact that we didn't win. Let's say this thing was worth over $1.5 billion. The largest this country is known. And practically everybody that could played a part in it. Not everybody. Some people think that that's wrong and they don't want to take a chance on gambling. But for the most part, the greater majority of the people, I would say, bought a ticket. $2 in some places. And some people bought thousands of dollars worth. Now, how much money do you think? We don't know that this process involved. Well, we know it doesn't operate free. Some would think that if 1.5 billion, that the runners of this great venture took in at least 1.5 billion. Now, I'm not saying that because I have no idea how this thing works. But I do know this. They get their cut. And this thing, I think it went on, 2 or 3 times or maybe even more to get to this rate. So, the sellers at these distributing places, if they get their cut, especially if a winner comes through there, I'm sure they get some type of financial reward just for having it in their stores, no doubt. But they get a greater reward when somebody wins a number. That's the risk and the gamble that they are willing to take. It makes it worthwhile. And I'm thinking about those who took their rent money because they were hoping so. And everybody, even you, even myself, were reaching out. We see this money. We see our dreams being filled. We see all of the wonderful things we can do for ourselves and so many other things we can do for others. We can't do stuff for everybody, we would agree. And we know that even after we've done everything we can do, we will still be hounded. We'll still be hated by some because we couldn't help them. And yet, when you think about the whole context of the thing, how many winners were there? Well, I think for the big prize, it was split among 3. Now, how many were involved in the 3? In the one of the 3, we can't tell, and it really doesn't matter. There were 3 winners, main winners. And understand that if you got certain numbers correct and you had the Powerball, you could win additional money. So you would say that more than 3, but maybe just quite a few might have won some money. You know, not 3, maybe 100 people might have won some money. But think about how many of us who lost. I bet you lost. I did. But you hoped, so did I. And so did millions of others. Hope. All for the same thing. See, ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you all the time, and you know it's fact. Each of us were hoping for this money. And each of us were hoping to use this money for the same kinds of things. Now, it wouldn't necessarily be the same identical thing, but it would have to do with expenditures for things for certain reasons that are common amongst us all. So we are connected in that regard. All of us. You know you are. Me, I know I am. All of us are. Powers that be who set up these things, they know that too. But they found out a way that they could use it to exploit it for their gain. Their gain. They got that money from us who were hoping. Money has gone to the state I don't know if it'll help you any, maybe 2 cents. Money have gone to various people. It's like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's like all of that money that was involved. Now, where does it go? It goes to the few. All of a sudden, these guys, these 3 that won, they're a part of the few now. They're no longer part of the many. They're part of the few. And that's where all that money went, is to the few. And all of the many indulged themselves trying to become a part of the few, and they still lost, and we're still out here, 99%ers. 99%ers. But, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really want to dwell on that too much. The true reason that I want to take advantage of this is because I've been telling you something, and I hope, based upon what we've just experienced, that this might have some value. There is a power that you and I cannot see with our physical eyes. We can observe so many things that our senses enable us to. But at the same time, there's something that's moving. And it is a wonderful thing. And I can see that the power of that unseen power can only be seen truly for us if we allow it to live in us. And that spirit that is of the mighty spirit becomes active in us. And since it is the spirit in you and in you and in you and in you, it is the same spirit. And so it is about the business of the spirit. What I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. You and I, the many, the 99%ers, we were not made to suffer. We were not made to desire such a dream that was so far out of reach. The things that we desire in life simply really are common and easy. So for us to reach out for that $1.5 billion was idolatry. We did it because it seems to be the only thing that will work for us, even though we lost. Reaching out. So what we do instead, you got to have a little wisdom. That wisdom is this, is that all the things that we want belong to none of us. Or we have situated it in such a way, just like this lottery thing was played, and a few advanced, and the many of us lost. The systems are designed to do the same thing. The systems of the world, the systems of the nations, they are designed to do the same thing, to use you, that it benefit the few, and at the expense of the many. And we have been indoctrinated to think that this is the way it is supposed to be. But ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't want to hear anybody talk to you about God, because I know what that has been for me. It has been nothing but talk. Oh, I've heard many stories. They sound better than Santa Claus. But I've seen people lay hands on the sick, and they did not recover. I've seen people predict this and predict that, and it never came about. So I'm not so strung up on listening to what somebody read and try to interpret to me. I say, if there is anything that's worthwhile out there, then it got to be able to speak to me, just as it was for those who believe that he was speaking to those others. So speak to me. Let me know what it is that you want me to do. And I am indebted, I am embedded, I am dedicated to you. But leave me alone, and I've left you alone. But here is what I see. Something coming outside of me that I recognize that's different than what's in us as human beings. Because what usually is in me is the same thing that's in you, and that's talk. Plain simply talk. Wishing and fussing. And getting used and going along with it all the while. But now I see something that says no more. I see something that causes me to come before you and say that we my friends, my sisters, and my brothers. I'm telling you, unless there is peace, what I mean by peace, I'm talking about justice, that all of us as human beings are treated like we as human beings must be treated in order to find some justice in this life. We as individuals owe that to ourselves. And whenever it's not happening, it's because of some deception. Somebody says, well, it's business. When business go out, don't you know business is a scam? When you send a product out or a service, and it extracts from those who receive them in such an amount that those who have done the labor are being paid. Now it's all above the product now itself. They are being paid. Money is going to you. Money is going to you. What is that? That's something what you call profit over and beyond what you gave. But you got people thinking now that they need it and it's so precious and this price is justified. Is that right, computer people? But I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, all of the things that you dream, all of the things that you can imagine are accessible. They are at your fingertips. It has been designed that it would be at your fingertips. The only thing that you must do is recognize that it all belongs to a power outside of you. You didn't bring it, you can't take it away. But it's here, and it belongs to the power that made it. No, my friends, not you. And each of us who have gifts have been given these gifts so we can exercise the gift in the process of disseminating from these things and extracting from these things that has been given the fulfillment of our dreams. That is a God. That is a God. And it's not requiring that a single one of you be killed. It's not requiring that a single one of you have to be lied to or lie or cheat or be cheated or steal or kill. None of it has to be done. And because it exists because it has been given authority by a disrespect for the freedom of humankind, for the peace of humankind, from the joy of humankind. It is roaming through the earth, killing. And when good people say it's wrong, but God is going to take care of it, how is God going to take care of it when you will not allow God to live? Get out of the way and let God come in you. And let the glory, oh, good God Almighty, I never thought I'd be doing this, of peace. You ever seen someone take a pet in, knowing that they don't have the wherewithal? I don't care how much love you got for that pet. You don't have the wherewithal to do anything to cause that pet to survive. And you can't even do that for yourself. You're struggling so hard. And so rather than do that to that puppy, you give it up. If you pass it up, or if you had it and you couldn't do anything, you give it away so someone else could do for it. Now, if we can do that for each other, why can't a God that made the heavens, that made the earth, and all of the things that I've discussed, why can't that God do that? Now, you say, well, if he could do it, why didn't he do it? Look, it's been done. Choice is what is blocking it, because the people are choosing this instead of that. Monday will be a celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. I'm sure people will be congregating themselves all across this nation, even in the cold, and hopefully those very cold spots will have accessible warmth spots. And they'll be talking about what Dr. King gave his life for, what he was dedicated, and how much he was how much dedication he had. They'll be saying phrases that Dr. King articulated to us that meant so much to him, and we say us as well. We'll be talking about those things. But ladies and gentlemen, Dr. King is not concerned of us walking out there down the street in the cold saying we honor Dr. King. Dr. King turns over if there's any way that he can be connected in a knowledgeable way to what's going on. Turns over, pukes at what we have done. When we have taken his life that he willingly gave up and using it to pretend like we honor him. To honor King is to stand for what King stood for. He was against poverty. He was saying it had to go, and we are saying it's okay, and yet we want to walk down like we honoring Dr. King. Oh, my God. What kind of people are we? We are people that have been formed and shaped to be just who we are. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what state in life you find yourself, we are all the same. You got a great job, somebody else got a very poor job, you're still the same. There's no difference in any of you, because the difference is contrasted, the difference is distinguished by your wisdom and your willingness to think about God. See, God is all, and we have to respect all. And to disrespect anything, do you know that there is a plan? For those of you who think about the devil who was cast out of heaven, do you know that there is a plan to recover Lucifer? Do you know there's a plan to cause Lucifer to change and be welcomed back to heaven? Do you know there's a plan for that? I would tell you the plan right now, but I'm not. I'm going to tell you the plan next time. So you come back with a follow-up. And I think if I can remember it, I'll call that program next time. Bye-bye.